don't know how I ended up on that island, but days passed. For 10 whole days, I had nothing to eat. I caught a few small fish. I crushed the fish with my hands. Then I walked into the sea and poured the crushed fish into the water. After some time, I saw a shadow under the water. A shark. When the shark came close enough, I used all my strength and hit it. I was so excited. I felt happier than I had felt in many days. But I still didn't eat it. When it became dark, I dragged the shark to a tree. I used a rope and hung it on the tree. Then I dug a pit in the sand and hid inside it. I watched the shark hanging on the tree. I fell asleep. When I woke up, something was wrong. The rope was still on the tree, but the shark was gone. I was terrified. That moment, I understood something very scary. To protect myself, I picked up my stick and walked along the coastline. After walking a short distance, I saw something on the beach. It was half of the shark. I looked closely at the wounds. These wounds were not made by normal animals. When I went back, something even worse happened. My companion's body was gone. Only sand covered with blood remained. That was when I truly understood. The creature on this island was not just a fish. I quickly used a stone to sharpen my wooden stick. I made it into a spear. I searched the island for a place to hide. Then I heard a strange sound. It came from a tree nearby. I was very scared. I bent down and looked. It was a shark. I sighed in relief, but the fear didn't disappear. If sharks were here, that monster could be near too. I knew I needed protection. I collected many coconut leaves and thick wooden blocks. I built a simple camp. Suddenly, I saw something floating in the sea. I walked into the water and picked it up. It was my companion. Her body was badly damaged. It was clearly cut by something. Even the scratches on her face were the same as the shark's wounds. I wanted to know the truth, so I tied her body to a tree with rope. Then I hid in the dark and watched. This time, I didn't sleep. I stayed awake and listened carefully. Then I saw it. A monster. It was about 3 meters tall. Without hesitation, it pulled the body down from the tree and ate it. I was so scared I couldn't breathe. I didn't dare move. Suddenly, I heard a plain horn. I felt hope. I stood up and wanted to shout for help. But suddenly, the monster appeared in front of me. I froze. I stopped moving. Luckily, the monster didn't find me. After it left, I finally breathed again. I knew I couldn't stay on the island. If I stayed, I would die. But there was nothing here. Only sand. I felt hopeless. Then I saw a life jacket. A bold idea came into my mind. I put all my clothes into a suitcase. Then I put the life jacket inside. I tightened all the buckles as much as possible. Finally, I dragged the suitcase into the sea. I wanted to use it to escape, but I was too heavy. The suitcase turned over before I could climb on. I tried again. And again. I failed many times. I hit the life jacket in anger. There was nothing I could do. Night was coming. I had no choice but to hide again. I hid inside a tree hole I had found earlier. I didn't want the monster to find me. That night, I heard strange sounds. First, a low whistle. Then the tree started shaking violently. The wind was very loud, but the tree hole was strong enough. After a while, the sound stopped. I survived the night. After seeing the monster, I knew my priority was to avoid it. I looked at a coconut tree and suddenly got an idea. I took a piece of cloth. I used a wooden stick to make holes in it. I tied belts and ropes together. Then I tied everything tightly to the tree. Soon, I made a simple hanging bed high in the air. I climbed onto it. It was small and uncomfortable, but safe. Only by staying high could I avoid the monster. That night, I tried to sleep. Suddenly, I heard a scream below me. I woke up instantly. I looked down and saw the monster running back and forth. I was shaking. I pulled the hanging bed tighter around my chest and prayed. The monster searched around, but it couldn't reach me. I survived again. But I knew I couldn't live like this forever. Soon, I saw something far away in the sea. It looked like a life raft. I swam toward it. When I got closer, I saw a man and his girlfriend inside. I was happy. I brought them back to shore. I collected supplies. I wanted to escape with the life raft, but the man didn't want to leave. He thought I was crazy. He shouted at me. Night came. They ignored my warnings and stayed near the sea. I had no choice. I secretly pushed the life raft to the other side. I wanted to escape alone. But they noticed. They ran toward me. The man hugged me tightly. The girlfriend grabbed my leg. I kicked the girlfriend and broke free. But I fell into the sea. I lost consciousness. When I woke up, it was night. I was tied to a tree. The monster came. The girlfriend screamed. She was dragged into the sea. The man tried to fight but failed. I escaped my ropes and ran to him. He regretted not listening to me. I was angry but forgave him. We pushed the raft into the water together. But the monster was watching. A claw grabbed me. I sealed the raft. The monster broke through. The man shot its eye with a flare gun. The monster ran away. Suddenly, I was dragged underwater. I stabbed it with a knife. It let go, but my boyfriend was taken. I survived. I knew only one thing. The monster had to die. I made a trap. I used fire. I used fish as bait. When the monster came, I attacked. I stabbed it many times. Finally, it collapsed. I burned the forest. And I waited for rescue.